October 2025 Visa Bulletin predictions, a critical turning point. The wait is almost over. Within hours, we'll know what the October 2025 Visa Bulletin reveals, and with it, the first real signs of how fiscal year 2026 will unfold for immigrants chasing green cards. But what does this moment mean for EB1, EB2, and EB3 applicants, and could it finally bring relief, or will backlogs only grow? Let's break it down step by step. Why the fiscal year reset matters. October is not just another month on the calendar, it's the start of a new fiscal year for U.S. immigration. Each October, fresh visa numbers are released, resetting the annual cap for employment-based categories. For many immigrants, this is the best chance for movement in the bulletin. But it's also a reality check. Demand has been climbing, backlogs are swelling, and not everyone will benefit equally. Understanding the quota system. At the heart of the Visa Bulletin lies a strict quota system. Employment-based green cards are capped at 140,000 annually, though that number can temporarily rise if unused family-based visas spill over, as we saw in recent years post-COVID. Each category, from EB1 through EB5, gets a fixed percentage, and the fall-up, fall-down rule allows unused numbers to trickle between categories. On top of that, the 7% per country cap limits how many visas a single nation can receive. For countries with massive applicant pools like India and China, this structure guarantees years, sometimes decades of waiting. Lessons from past Octobers. It's tempting to expect major jumps in October, but history tells a different story. In 2023, EB-2 advanced only 1 week in final action dates and 1 month in dates for filing. In 2024, there was virtually no movement in Table A and only slight gains in Table B. This pattern shows that while the fiscal reset injects new visa numbers, it doesn't always translate to dramatic leaps in cutoff dates. The first bulletin of the year tends to be cautious, with more noticeable shifts appearing later in the fiscal cycle. EB2 backlogs and demand pressures. EB2 has become one of the most sought-after categories, particularly for NIW applicants who can self-petition. But demand has overwhelmed the system. With nearly 80,000 pending I-140s sitting at USCIS and approval rates above 80%, the backlog alone represents over 100,000 visa numbers, more than 2 full years of supply. Even with premium processing speeding up petition decisions, it does nothing to expand available visa numbers. This is why applicants see sluggish movement, despite timely I-140 approvals. EB1, a tale of two realities. EB1 remains the strongest category overall. For most countries, it's current, meaning visas are available immediately. But for India and China, the story is very different. In fiscal year 2025, there was no movement at all for these two countries. That lack of progress underscores how per-country caps weigh most heavily on high-demand regions. While modest advancement of 2 to 3 weeks is possible in October, applicants from India and China shouldn't expect a sudden breakthrough. EB3 and the retrogression question. For EB3, small steps forward, maybe 1 to 2 weeks, are the most optimistic scenario. However, retrogression remains a looming risk. As more applications pour in, especially from employer-sponsored petitions, visa numbers can run out quickly, forcing the Department of State to move dates backward. This stop-and-start pattern creates uncertainty for applicants who may be just days away from filing eligibility when the bulletin shifts against them. The role of USCIS filing charts. One of the most overlooked elements is which chart USCIS authorizes for adjustment of status, the final action dates chart or the more generous dates for filing chart. In past Octobers, USCIS allowed applicants to use the dates for filing chart, opening the door for thousands to submit I-485s earlier. Even if green cards aren't immediately available, filing provides interim benefits like work permits and advance parole. This decision, usually announced alongside the bulletin, could be just as impactful as the cutoff dates themselves. Family-based predictions and spillover effects. Family-sponsored categories will also see modest forward movement in October, with the Philippines and Mexico expected to advance more quickly than other regions. Why does this matter to employment-based applicants? Because if family-based demand falls short, unused numbers can spill over to employment categories in the following year. While spillovers fueled dramatic EB-2 and EB-3 progress after COVID, current family demand is strong, meaning little extra relief for employment-based applicants this cycle. Looking at broader immigration trends. Another key factor is USCIS productivity. Delays in processing and adjudicating cases contribute to the bottleneck. Even when visa numbers are technically available, cases can remain stuck due to staffing shortages, administrative delays, or backlogs at local field offices. Unless USCIS efficiency improves, cutoff dates alone won't guarantee faster outcomes for applicants. The political reality. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Meaningful change to the quota system requires congressional action. Lawmakers could raise the annual cap, scrap per-country limits, or rebalance categories, but year after year, immigration reform stalls. For now, the bulletin reflects a system built decades ago that hasn't adapted to modern demand. Applicants should plan with today's rules in mind, not hopes for sudden reform. My outlook for October 2025. So, what should we expect? For EB-2, likely slow progress, similar to last year's 6-month total advancement across the fiscal year. EB-1 should remain current for most countries, with minimal gains for India and China. EB-3 could advance slightly, but retrogression is a real risk if filings spike. Family-based categories will move more noticeably, but not enough to significantly ease employment backlogs. The bottom line, October 2025 may feel underwhelming, but steady progress throughout the year is possible. The human side of the wait. Beyond the numbers and policies, it's important to remember the human impact of the Visa Bulletin. Families are separated for years, careers are put on hold, and life decisions, like buying a home or starting a business, are delayed because applicants are uncertain about when their green card will arrive. This uncertainty is why so many follow the bulletin so closely each month. It's not just paperwork, it's about planning for a stable future in the United States. A practical step for applicants. If you're considering filing an EB-1 or EB-2 NIW, the best strategy is to start now. Securing your priority date early locks in your place in line, regardless of how the bulletin moves. Even with slow forward progress, having an approved I-140 offers real benefits, from extended H-1B renewals to peace of mind that your petition is in the system. The October 2025 Visa Bulletin is more than just numbers on a page. It's a reflection of supply, demand, and policy decisions that impact thousands of lives. While backlogs may not vanish overnight, understanding the mechanics of the system empowers you to make smarter decisions. At Visa Intel USA, we'll be here to analyze the official release as soon as it drops, helping you navigate every step toward your green card journey. Stay tuned. If you found this breakdown useful, please like, share, and subscribe. Staying ahead is your strongest tool in navigating a system that is more complex and demanding than ever before. Thank you for watching.